Hello and welcome to this interview with Bishop Athanasius Schneider. My name is Diane Montagna, and we're here today to talk with His Excellency about a group of religious sisters called the Mothers of the Holy Cross, who were founded in Tanzania, but have a very special apostolate in Germany, and are in the midst of a new building project. I was blessed to come to know the sisters as Bishop Schneider and I conducted the first interviews for our book, Christus Vincit, at the sisters' convent in Munich, while he was visiting his mother, who was in the sisters' care. Your Excellency, welcome and thank you for being with us. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you came to know the Mothers of the Holy Cross and your connection to them, both in Germany and in Tanzania?
Well, thank you, dear Diane, that I can speak with you again. We spoke already several times, and especially we did our important book interview, Christus Vincit, exactly in that place, which you mentioned now, in Munich, in the convent of the Mothers of the Holy Cross, African sisters from Tanzania. And I have known the sisters already in Brazil when I was studying there in the Diocese of Anápolis. I have known their foundress. She was the name Mother Maria Stieren. She was a German sister from Munich, from Bavaria. And she, after the Second World War, she went to Tanzania as a missionary sister, Benedictine.
She was Benedictine.
She was a Benedictine missionary sister. She went to Tanzania straight after the Second World War as a young religious sister. And she did a very great work in Tanzania. She was known in Tanzania for her extraordinary missionary works. She founded small hospitals in rural areas and schools, and she was very much appreciated. And she had also a good relationship with the famous first Tanzanian Catholic president, Julius Nyerere. He was a very deep believing Catholic, and the Mother Maria, she was very close to President Julius Nyerere, a very good Catholic president and faithful. So Mother Maria Stieren, in the 1970s in Tanzania, she felt a vocation to found a new congregation, since she was a Benedictine missionary, in order to keep more the traditional observances in the religious life, and also to keep the traditional form of the liturgy, at least to use more Latin and Gregorian chant. And she did this with the approval of her bishop in Tanzania. And then she went to Brazil to make a foundation there. And there I met her personally, the foundress. She died in 2008, so already 14 years ago in Tanzania. But I met her when I was a young priest, newly ordained priest in Brazil in 1990, so 32 years ago. And so she had founded there a missionary convent in Brazil to assist poor children in Brazil, to educate them, a boarding school of children with difficulties. And she did a great work in Brazil. I was a witness there. And then the second time I met this congregation when I was appointed by the Holy See in 2015, 7 years ago, as an apostolic visitator of this community, because in 90, I think 2 years after the motto Proprio Ecclesia Dei, which issued John Paul II, this community, with also the male branch, which is the missionary of the Holy Cross, they were established by the Holy See as a congregation of pontifical right, but with the permission of the traditional liturgy, as all the so-called Ecclesia Dei communities.
Yes.
And then we know that in 2015, all the Ecclesia Dei communities got an apostolic visitation. And it was providential, since the Holy See did not know that I have known the foundress in
Oh,
Brazil.
really?
No, they did not know this. And they appointed me. They could appoint another bishop to be the visitor, but they appointed me. And so it was a pleasure for me to visit. I had to visit all the houses. So even in Brazil, so I could return in Brazil because
Wonderful.
their convent was not so far away from where I was studying in the Diocese of Anápolis in the center of Brazil. So I visited there. Then, of course, I visited in Tanzania. They have 3 convents in Tanzania, missionary convents. The main convent is in the Diocese of Singida. This is in central Tanzania, a very poor region, really. And they have there an excellent hospital for poor people in Puma. It's a small village, and a boarding school for girls, a secondary school. And the priests, they have also maybe 3 kilometers away, a very good minor seminary for boys. And then they have another station, and the second in Tanzania is really a missionary. They are working in the midst of a tribe which were recently only evangelized. Maybe
Wow.
40 years ago only they were
Wow.
evangelized. And Mother Maria, she started there the first evangelization of this tribe.
Wow.
The name of this tribe. And they brought their schools and dispensary and pharmacy, the sisters for these poor people. And the sisters are living there still today without water. They have no drinking water there. They have no electricity. And so they have to, the sisters from the main station, 70 kilometers, they are bringing every Saturday drinking water to this station.
Incredible.
Yes, still now. I was there. And then they have another station, it's more in the north, in another diocese, in Bulu. It is more close in the direction of Kilimanjaro. There they have also a small missionary station, a small hospital, even in a poor area, and then a secondary school, a good school, newly founded school, and a kind of orphanage for for children, orphans.
Are there a lot of orphans there?
They have not so many, but girls or orphans even there in this other station. But in every station they have plenty land, so they do agriculture. They, they do agriculture. They have their own products mostly, and so this is the reality in Tanzania. And then they have in Munich, as you already mentioned in the beginning, they are running an elderly home, nursing home for elderly women. Since already, I think, maybe already 40 years ago, or 30 years ago at least, they started there because München was the home city of the foundress, Sister Maria Stieren. And they're running, really, my mother had I was so happy that my mother could be there the last 5 years of her life. And so when I visited the München house, and I saw these really professional and care of these elderly women, and not only professional, but with so much Christian love.
No, it was striking. It was striking when we were there to conduct the first interviews for Christus Vincit, to see the elderly women who were in their care, there with the possibility of going to the traditional mass, of going to Eucharistic adoration. And the whole environment was so filled with Christian love. It was quite striking.
Yes, exactly. And this I saw during my visitation, that every person, every woman, she got so many attention, so by the sisters, and they were leading the people, the women, to adoration. There is every day holy adoration in this home, in the chapel, and very reverent Holy Mass. The Fraternity of St. Peter takes care of the priests for the Holy Mass there. and these women, they are dying with the sacraments. The sisters are always at the bed of a dying woman praying, and the priests are giving the sacrament. So they are preparing them for heaven. And
Yes.
this should be a Christian nursing home for elderly people, to prepare them really to pass from this life better to the eternity with God.
Yes.
Prayers is the sacrament. And this
Yes.
is so rare today. In Germany, it's very rare. Unfortunately, the nursing homes in Germany are so much filled with a completely secular spirit.
And in
It
the
is,
United States. And in the United
yes,
States.
it is so cold, an environment spiritually cold, technical, and so on. And this is so a grace that there are such places, so few, also in Germany. And so the sisters are doing this apostolate there. And so after my visitation in 2015, my father died, and so my mother she was alone, and
Mhm.
so I could bring her to the sisters, and
Yes.
and she was so happy to be with the sisters, and um, she passed away 2 years ago, and this was so a grace for her. She was um, uh, in the in the
Surrounded.
in the surrounded by the sisters with prayers. I could even celebrate in her room. The sisters prepared a beautiful altar in the room of my mother, that I could celebrate the last mass before she went from this earth, and gave
Yes.
Holy Communion. And my mother was seeing, when she was dying, the altar and our Lord. And so I'm so grateful to the sisters that they did this for my mother.
Yes.
And
Yes.
but now it's a situation that they have to leave the place there in München because of the reason, because the house is already has to be repaired, because it is already 40 years, and all the restructuring would be so costly, and that they got the good council to build really a new house,
And where
and
will they build, Your Excellency?
in another place, because there in München they have not enough place also, and so they got in the neighboring diocese of München. It's in the diocese of Passau.
Hmm.
A very good bishop, Bishop Oster. He accepted very gladly the sisters and approved their foundation already, and it is in a rural area in South Bavaria, in a small place, very nice. And they bought the new ground, the new territory.
But
And
a more rural setting will be a lovely setting, especially, well, for the sisters and for the elderly who they serve.
yes, exactly, it's a very nice environment, rural and Bavarian, and there is close, even a small pilgrimage chapel of Our Lady of the Sorrowful,
Oh, really?
old, from the 17th century. It's not so far, maybe 100 meters from the place where they are. And so,
Really?
yes, and the place is now, so the plan to build a new nursing home for the elderly women, and then the convent for the sisters, and between the convent and the nursing home will be the church. And the
Yes.
church will be not only the church for the elderly home and for the sisters, it will be a specific adoration church for perpetual Eucharistic adoration. And so that the elderly people can even participate in the process of perpetual adoration. The sisters,
Yes.
of course, also, but the sisters will also open the church for other people, for parishioners or others, to participate in the adoration.
Wonderful.
It will be a spiritual center of adoration. And of course, the Holy Mass will be celebrated in the traditional form in this
Yes.
convent, in this church, with the approval of the bishop. He already approved this.
So
And
it'll be a real light for Germany in
yes,
these days.
exactly in these very difficult times when, the so-called synodal process in Germany is all going towards, real apostasy and Protestantism, such a place as this new adoration church of the sisters or mothers of the Holy Cross, of the African sisters in Germany, will be a light, really, and a consolation for so many good German Catholics to irradiate a small light, but God loves the small lights. And with the small ones, God is using them to renew the church. And so, and for the sisters, they want to build the church as much beautiful as possible, because they say we have to give to the Lord the most beautiful. And so, and therefore, they sold the property in München already. And with this, they can build the nursing home.
Yes.
It will be sufficient, and mostly also the convent. But there is no means now to build the adoration church. And therefore, it is a good idea to promote this action of asking people to help financially to build the adoration church for the sisters. And I'm so grateful also that you are helping here, dear Diane, in this project, since you know personally the sisters.
Yes.
And we can do this. And then from the apostolate.
Let me ask you, Your Excellency. So, from what I understand and know of the sisters, they have the apostolate in Germany, but from the apostolate in Germany, that also benefits their apostolates in Tanzania and in Brazil. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Exactly. They are doing the work, the sisters, in the nursing home. And so they, of course, as workers of the nursing home, the sisters are also getting remuneration from the state, because in Germany it is an assurance of these nursing homes who are paying for the workers.
Yes.
And there are also nursing sisters and other workers. So from this remuneration which the sisters receive from the governmental assurance for the nursing homes, this is a very important income for the maintenance of the apostolate in Tanzania.
And I imagine that goes a long way. That goes a long way in Tanzania. That is, whatever income can be received through Germany will be of great benefit to their apostolates.
Yes. So the sisters, the remuneration, the salaries which they receive, a great part they are transferring to Tanzania, really to support the apostolate, especially the hospital there, and the boarding school for the children, and the missionary stations, even this new tribe there. So they are really depending materially from the German station there, from the nursing home income. But at the same time, they are doing in Germany a beautiful Catholic apostolate to maintain, to keep the Catholic faith, the traditional liturgy, and especially the perpetual Eucharistic adoration. In these difficult times in Germany, I think that it is worthwhile to support the sisters. And then also, I think that this is a witness which the sisters are giving, the African sisters in Germany. And this will be also when people will now support even this adoration church, which is now, they have no means to build this church, really. There is no means.
Well, God will provide.
I hope. And so I think that good Catholics who love the Catholic faith, the tradition, and the missions, they can give what they can in some way, a concrete contribution. And the sisters will surely, later during the adoration, they will commemorate all the benefactors during the Eucharistic adoration. They are doing this already now, but they will surely do this when the church will be already built, and when the adoration will be there already starting.
Yes, and all the souls who they prepare to meet the Lord, will, including your dear mother, will undoubtedly be interceding from heaven for them as well.
Yes, this we can believe also, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
How can people who would like to help the sisters, how can they help?
There's a possibility to go to the website of the Confraternity of Our Lady of Fatima, which is here below indicated, La Fatima convent, and there is an indication concretely how to transfer funds or donations to these for this purpose. And there is also a brochure with photos and description of the convent of the sisters and the plan of the church. So it's a concrete possibility to look on the page there, and so to be more closely to know for which purpose you can donate your help.
Yes. And for those donating from the United States, a donation made through the Confraternity of Our Lady of Fatima, we should say, is a tax-deductible donation and can be given in various amounts according to people's abilities and their means. Your Excellency, is there anything you'd like to add today?
Yes, I will simply thank you, dear Diane, for your help, that you made the interview with me and also helped to with the website and to promote this project. May God reward you. And all the listeners who are viewing now our interview, I will thank you for your benevolence, for the sisters, for this project. And also in advance, I invoke upon you the blessing of the Lord, and may God reward even the smallest gift with his eternal blessings. And and I'm happy then, when, so God will, when the church will be finished and be consecrated, then to present you a video of the church, of the real church, and of the consecration, and of the sisters.
Exactly, and perhaps we can provide some updates along the way in the building process through videos and photographs offered to our viewers.
And I think also that these donations can also be included for in a case of need, also for the sisters in Tanzania itself, because sometimes they have really a very important need for their apostolate. And so I think that with this aim, when you give your donations to support, of course, firstly for the building of the new church there in Germany, the adoration, but even you can also in a global manner say really for the apostolate of these mothers of the Holy Cross in Tanzania, which are doing a very heroic, silent, heroic, beautiful, real Catholic work.
Yes. Well, thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you to all of our viewers. We'll include a link below to the Confraternity of Our Lady of Fatima website for those who wish to help, or go to www.livefatima.io/convent. That's www.livefatima.io/convent. And you can find more information on how you can help the Mothers of the Holy Cross and their precious missions in Germany and in Tanzania. Thank you all very much for joining us today, and God bless.